One, two, three, four.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Jalissa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brendan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And we got Patrick today. How you doing, Patrick?
What's up?
Oh yeah, we didn't include you, bro. We wanted to exclude you, bro. Wanted to make sure we're not associated with you. You see, he's laughing, bro. We're having a good time. I don't mean anything by
Why
it,
you
bro.
always so mean to Patrick?
Cause he's mean to me.
Okay, wait. Actually, why are guys always mean to each other?
I'm not mean to
He's
him.
projecting.
No, that's not true. Brandon's fucking lying. He's pretty fucking mean too.
How am I mean? What have I said that was mean this morning?
Bro,
Like, say
you
one thing
literally
that-
are always like gaslighting me, taunting me, making fun of me. But I don't get offended by it. I just think it's like how my sister said. I think that's just how guys show affection because we can't emotionally tell each other what we feel. So we don't verbally like, Patrick, you're looking good today. So instead I'm like, bro, you look like a piece of shit. But it's like inverse. It's the opposite. It's actually a show of love and warmth. Bro, is that not true?
I don't know. I feel like Patrick's pretty nice.
I'm speechless about
You guys are, they're doing it right now. They're gaslighting me. They're literally off camera. They're so fucking mean.
Gas litters?
Gas
Yeah.
litters. Gas litters.
Gas litters?
They're male manipulators. You guys don't agree? You guys don't think as guys, like being mean to each other is a way of showing affection?
That shit hurts sometimes, from being honest.
Yeah. No, it does hurt. It does hurt.
So then why do you guys do it?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay, but
They're lying. They're literally tripping. I don't know why they're saying they don't. They literally do that.
I mean, I hang out with you guys. Why are you guys mean?
Wait. If since you hang out with us, who always instigates it?
You?
Me.
What did you think she was gonna say? Is that your honest action?
No, that's not. That's biased because
Is-
she's your sister.
I literally never instigate shit.
Am I right?
You do instigate a little.
I can't say it's Stevie because like he's my brother and it's already on automatic
I'm outta here.
that I would say it's
We're having our first walkout on the podcast.
Wow. That's crazy.
Disrespectful.
fight. We're gonna have a YouTube
street beef?
video.
No,
Oh,
but street
okay.
beef.
Can we say that?
We're gonna have
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
can
have a
say that.
YouTube video of like what happened to Patrick and then he starts his own podcast.
Oh, it's like drama. Like
And there'll be like video essays about like the downfall.
yeah,
of-
the thumbnail is you in black and white with like tears. They Photoshop tears on you. Like, you're looking like off to the right, like off screen.
I have like my own desk and everything, and it's just me.
The video starts with you walking into the frame first.
He's
and sitting
actually in a classroom.
down. You're in the actual classroom.
One.
Oh, like a sneak diss.
A lot of people think we actually are in a classroom
I know.
because we are.
We are.
I mean, we are totally. We're not in the second floor.
We rented
A
a
classroom.
classroom.
Yeah, sure.
It's
So
the
subscribe to our Patreon because it's expensive, man.
Oh yeah, side note, we're doing a Patreon episode today. So for everybody who's not in the Patreon, if you guys want to see that, check it out below. Gonna get even more private. But you know what's funny? I'm thinking about, you know how you said that we do, like, we are meeting each other, but that shit hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
I think about all this time when I was in high school. I think I was like a senior. I remember it was me and a couple friends. We were doing that where we were just like being really mean to each other. And then I remember our Izzy, who's a regular on this show, but my friend Izzy, he's like, guys, this isn't fun. Like, I'm not having fun. Like, we're just being mean to each other. Like, we're not, these aren't even jokes. We're just saying mean things. I still remember because they were getting really, it was that thing where we were joking around at first, but then like somebody said something that took it a little bit further. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, at least like my dad didn't leave me when I was a kid. Like shit like that. Yeah, it started getting really deep. And that's when Izzy was like, guys, I think we're just being mean to each other. Like, I don't think this is a joke.
It's what society wants.
Yeah. But I think it's common. I don't think it's just us. I think a lot of dudes are like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of dudes are like that.
Yeah. It's an effect of being emotionally
Unavailable.
I guess. Yeah.
Unavailable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emotionally cut off. No, he's right. I mean, I feel like he's right. Being cut off. I mean, because I'm telling you, it's like since you can't show a softer emotion, you show a stronger, like, aggressive emotion.
Okay.
why you hate me?
Interesting.
I don't hate you. I got nothing but love for you, bro. I support you in everything you do.
The meaner he is, the more he loves you.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes he like hits me and stuff.
I don't hit you. I hit you if I'm laughing. I'm a regular. I am a habitual. Like, if I laugh, I hit people. I don't know why. It's like if I have this energy when I'm laughing and I'm trying to like disperse it
Bro,
from
I
my
have this
body.
picture of me in black eye, bro.
That wasn't me, bro. You must have fell down the stairs.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
But
crazy.
Julie, what'd you bring for the show this week?
So I brought these questions. It's like a kind of like a personality test, just to like learn about people. So first question first thing is, I want you guys to choose a color. The first color that comes to mind.
Orange.
Green.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said green.
I said blue.
Okay. We also
Oh, were we supposed to say it out loud or no?
No, you can't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay.
She's like, just
that
think
way.
about it in
That
your
way,
head,
the
though.
viewers can hear you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that from that color, use 3 words to describe that color.
Warm. Early.
So you said orange.
Young.
Orange.
Yeah.
You said warm,
Early and young.
really young. What about you, Brandon?
They have
So-
to be adjectives, or can they be things?
They have to
that I
be
said?
adjectives. Yeah.
Cold.
First thing. Cold.
Green.
Gritty.
You said blue, right?
Depressed.
Green.
Both.
I'm gonna say.
So just remember your answers. Okay.
Okay. So I can't say like trees.
No.
Okay. That's cool. I'm gonna say calm, reassuring, gentle.
Okay. All right. Now I want you guys to choose.
What about Patrick?
Oh yeah, Patrick. What'd you say?
Well,
Well, he said sad. He said like 3.
Okay, what does blue
Okay,
make
so
you
what
think?
is what does blue make you
Yeah.
think?
Pure,
Okay.
obvious, because like I see it everywhere, and safe.
Safe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And then now I want you guys to choose an animal. It could be your favorite animal or any animal that comes to mind.
Zebra. I don't know why. Zebra was the first thing that came to mind.
Elephant.
Tiger came to mind.
Tiger. All right. Now choose 3 words to describe that animal.
So
So you said zebra.
fast, docile, peaceful.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put intelligent, strong, intimidating.
Intimidating. Okay.
Elephant's pretty scary.
Okay.
Friendly looking, cuddly, and epic.
Tiger?
Yeah.
Okay.
You never
Friendly
seen those
looking.
videos where they're like they're just big cats, bro.
Oh, if why bad, why friendship?
Oh wait. Well, I guess I'll give mine too, right?
Okay.
So for color, I chose purple. So I said unique, beautiful, and magical. And then for animal, I said penguin. So I
Nice.
said penguins are my favorite animal. So I said cute, funny, and sophisticated because they look like they're wearing tux. And then, so for the next one, choose a body of water. So what I mean by that is like, what's your favorite form of water? So like whether it's a river, whether it's the sea, the ocean,
The
rain.
sea.
The sea.
The sea.
Snow.
Snow?
Snow.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think that's
Form of
valid,
water?
right?
Is that valid? Does that count?
That's
It's a-
a form of water. I
Is
feel like
it?
that counts. Yeah.
That counts, right? Because it melts.
Snowball
and it
It's like
fight?
turns
ice,
to
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ice.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
That's a unique one, bro. I'll give you that. You're different. You're different, bro. You stand out. What do you think, Brandon? First one that comes to mind, bro. I said sea.
Okay, ocean.
Ocean. All right. Now use 3 words to describe that.
Salty,
Salty.
blue, and big. Big. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say vast, mysterious, and
Deadly.
yeah, deadly.
Deadly. Okay.
sure.
Memorable, fascinating, and cold.
Cold.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I said rain. I said peaceful, joyous, and vibrant.
Okay.
Okay. So remember, what your favorite color was,
Okay.
and then the 3 things that you said to describe it.
Okay.
So your favorite color is how you see yourself.
Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then,
Interesting.
do you remember the things you described of that color?
I forgot one.
I said warm, young, and early. I am an early bird. I am up pretty early.
So that's how you see yourself.
Oh wow,
So what do you guys think of what you said for your favorite color?
And that's deep.
that is deep, bro. You at first said lonely, bro.
No.
I'll drink
You
to that.
said-
I
I'll
look,
drink to
I
that.
wasn't
You
taking it
also-
serious.
You
But I
also,
was like, she
you also
said
said
it was
sad.
like, it was intense, and I was like, nah. Let me pull out the real one. I forgot-
Okay, what did you actually say?
I said pure, obvious, and I forgot the third one. I have a short-term memory.
Pure,
obvious. And
I do remember you said obvious. What does that mean? But what does that mean when it connects to you?
I think because like I
Well, 'cause
picture
he-
the sky.
Well, because he said it that he sees it everywhere.
Yeah, no, I know, but what does that mean if it connects to you? If that's how you see yourself, what do you mean by
Like it
obvious?
stand out.
You stand
I
out.
guess,
Okay,
yeah.
I can
I'm
see that
him.
you do.
I'm
I'm
him.
him. I see that. What about you, Brandon? How does it this?
What did I say?
You said green.
I said green, and I
Green.
said
Oh, you said calm.
I said calm, gentle, and then something else. I forgot.
Sorry.
Something like I don't know.
It's just like tranquil.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Evil.
Okay, so that's how you see
Evil.
yourself.
Okay.
Okay, I see that. I see that. I see that with all of you guys.
How does that make you feel?
I feel good. I feel like it was pretty positive.
I feel like it was cool because I said purple and I said unique, beautiful, and magical.
So you're
Oh,
magical.
wow.
And I
Yeah.
feel like those things like remind me a lot of like, well, especially like unique. I feel like growing up, I always felt like I always said that about myself. And I was always like, I feel like I'm very like unique in just like who I am and like, I don't know, just like my beliefs and stuff.
I think you're very unique.
Thank
I think you guys are all very unique, actually. Just saying.
Come on.
you. There you go. See, he's not being mean anymore.
There you go. I know. I'm being soft.
You
Being
tore
warm.
you tore down his wall.
All I did was asking, "What's your favorite color, bro?"
Okay, and
Good
then
therapy
so the next one
Uh-huh.
is
Go ahead.
favorite animal. So do you guys remember your favorite animal?
I do.
Okay, so your favorite animal is how others see you.
Oh, really? Wait, that was
Or your animal.
We were supposed to say our favorite
Oh,
animal.
yeah.
No, well, you could say your favorite animal or just an animal that comes
Yeah,
to
can I
mind.
start over?
I said yeah.
You said
I said
zebra.
I said
I
no,
feel
no.
like
I was
you
gonna
can
say.
start over.
I was gonna say. I said the first animal that came to mind.
Yeah.
Just in general.
That's
So I
what
said
No,
zebra.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, it can be your favorite animal or the animal that just comes to mind.
T-Rex.
Okay.
That's what I
My-
wanted to say.
My favorite animal. Yeah, my favorite animal is the tiger. But when you asked me, the first thing I thought about was zebra.
I
Yeah.
just ate that
But
tea.
but
I
maybe
remember-
I think the fact that you said it first though is probably like I think that's what it's looking for.
Yeah.
No?
It's because I thought of zebra because of Patrick's shoes. Yeah. Yeah. So
But
that's
yeah,
why I
and then
was
you
like,
said, what did
oh
you
yeah, I can show it to the
describe
camera. That's why. Yeah.
And then what did you describe as zebra? You were like fast.
I was like fast, docile, and what was the last one? Peaceful.
Yeah. So that's how others see you.
People see me as docile.
Fast, docile, and peaceful.
And then you said
that how you see me,
elephant, right, Brendan?
I guess I said elephant. Yeah,
You
Do you
said-
remember what you said?
I said intelligent, strong, and intimidating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah.
Chill out, chill out, chill out.
What did you say? You said
He said tiger.
Tiger. I said
Yeah.
epic, friendly, and I forgot the third one as well.
I think you said like scary or something.
No,
No,
he
it-
said it was like
Friendly looking.
friendly looking, epic, and
Cuddly?
cuddly. Yeah, I feel like
oh yeah, I can see
I
that.
see that.
I
Yeah, I see
I
that.
thought you said lion. I didn't think you said tiger.
no, he said
You said
tiger.
tiger. Oh.
That's funny. For mine, it was penguin. So I said cute, funny, and sophisticated. That's how
Oh,
I feel
wow.
others see me.
Is that accurate?
I feel like-
guess so, yeah.
I feel like your version of penguin reminds you of the Adventure Time penguin. What's his name?
Ice
Gunther?
King?
Gunther? Yeah.
Wait, so tiger's your favorite animal then?
No.
And what is your favorite animal?
That's a good question. It was a, I think it was a leopard or a jaguar.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Would your answer kind of be the same then
I think
as
it
what you would be? What would your answer then? If
Mine would be tiger.
okay,
And then if
what-
I were to describe a tiger, it would be strong, big is the second one I'm thinking about. And then beautiful. What did you say? What did you say? He made like a motion. He made like a what do they call it? A phallic motion.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then what were you going to say, Brendan?
what was I gonna say?
Yeah, what's your favorite animal?
Elephant.
Oh, elephant's your favorite
Oh,
animal.
yeah.
Real.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, I didn't think I could say dinosaur. So,
Does that count?
But-
Dinosaurs count as
but
animals. I
alive
think.
now, elephant. Yeah.
Okay.
Dinosaurs count as animals. Dinosaurs freak me out, bro.
Really?
Yeah, the older I get, the more I feel like if I genuinely saw a dinosaur IRL, I would like just like have a nervous breakdown.
You should watch the Apple documentary, bro. It like, I'll leave it at that.
What if I tweak, bro, and I'm
They're-
like, it's
Well,
like a
'cause they-
horror
well,
movie
'cause
to me.
they, well, because they make it in like a mockumentary where they make it like seem like real animals.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of cute, but so maybe that helped. But I don't know.
Some of them are sad too.
Let me borrow your
Yeah.
password.
My password, Apple. Doesn't Apple come with like Hulu or something?
I don't know.
I think if you have one, you get the other. No.
I actually have no idea.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
His plans. Yeah.
Misinformation.
Misinformation.
All right, what was the last thing?
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the other one was, what's your favorite form of water, or like which form of water do you like?
I said the sea. Me and Brandon basically said the same thing.
You guys said the sea, and then what did you? Like?
Snow.
No. Yeah,
That counts,
snow.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then
What did you say, Julie?
She
I said
Oh,
rain.
rain. Oh, yeah.
I said rain. I love rain. I love
And what
the
does
rain.
this one do?
And for your favorite form of water, it is how you view love.
Oh, what did I say?
Brandon.
I cried up,
He's like-
Brandon.
I said vast, mysterious, and scary.
I said fascinating, cold, and something else.
I said salty.
Yeah, he said
said
salty.
Salty, and then what was the other one? Big? Did I
Blue.
say-
You said big and blue.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
said
big and
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Big and blue.
That sounds
Huh.
just like love.
Yeah, that
Oh.
sounds just like love.
Yeah, that's how you view love.
Salty.
I said, and then for me, I said rain. So I said peaceful, joyous, and vibrant.
Okay.
Wow, that you had probably the best answer.
Well, because she knows.
knew,
She
yeah, she
knew.
knew. That's not
She knew what
fair.
it was.
Well, I honestly, the first time I did this, I was actually hanging out with like a couple of my friends, and he just like started asking me these questions. He was like, "Oh, like what?" But he was saying more like my favorites, so like my favorite color, my favorite animal, and I was just like describing them. I was like, "Oh, like this, that." I did the same thing where I also forgot some of them, and then I legit every single time he would tell me what each part meant. So when he told me like favorite color means how you see yourself, favorite animal is how others see you, and then favorite form of water is how you view love.
Yeah.
I remember just being so shocked because like, especially the parts of how I see myself and how I feel like people see me.
Mhm.
I was really shocked at like how accurate those were. Cause I remember I was like, I like, especially like the penguin one, which is like how others see you, and how I always said like cute, funny, mostly the cute part. Cause I always feel like I always heard that. I always heard
Mhm.
like, oh, you're cute. And I feel like there was a point in my life where I didn't like it. I didn't like people saying that I was
Why?
cute.
Why?
Because I felt like it wasn't enough for like people to be with me. Like people would be like, oh, you're cute, but that's it. Like, and I feel like people would always, at least that's how I saw it, right? That people would say I was cute, but like it always felt like no one really liked me.
Mhm.
Like no one had a crush on me or anything.
What would you have preferred people say?
I don't know.
instead of cute?
I guess I don't know. Like beautiful would have been
Beautiful.
nice. Yeah. I feel like that word would have been a little nicer than cute, because I feel like sometimes the way some guys would use it, it was just like, oh, like you're. It would sound like they were saying like you're okay, like you're okay.
I guess I can kind of see that. I can see cute being seen as like out of all of them, it's like cute, beautiful, hot, fine as fuck, bomb. I don't know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I could see cute being, I guess, at the
Yeah.
bottom of that. So
Yeah.
I get, you're valid. I can see how you feel.
So I mean, yeah. So like at the time, I saw it bad. I don't see it as bad anymore. Like it's fine to me now. Just like when I was younger, that's how I saw it. But I remember when I did this, and I eventually I tried remembering back what I said. So that's what I wrote down. So I mean, it's been a while, so I don't know if I exactly see them that way. It's just like what I had in my notes. But I just thought it was crazy when I did it, and I remember just being like, wow, like that's generally how I kind of see things, you know. And it's also like cool because it's kind of like an icebreaker of like knowing people and kind of how they see themselves if you also want to know them in like a personal level. So I got to know a lot about you guys now. So
Okay.
Wow.
Imagine-
So did our audience.
Imagine
What?
using that for like a date, and then like they just break
Break
down.
down. You're like, what the fuck?
you think
What
that would
did
be
I
too
do?
much? You think that would be too much?
No, I mean it depends. It depends on how into it you are. Like, if you're really into them, then you'd want to get that like depth. You want to see like, oh, you know, this is how they view themselves. This is how they view the world.
Yeah.
But if you weren't fucking with them and then they're like breaking down and crying, it's like, whoa, yeah, it's like, damn, like, oof, like,
Yeah.
so like we should probably get the check, right? You want to go home? Like, I'll drop you home.
If somebody told me, I would just like break down. Like, what does it mean?
In terms of relationships, do you feel like it's easy for you guys to open up? Like whenever you guys have dated, do you feel like it was easy for you guys to open up at the beginning?
Yeah,
Yeah, you feel so? Yeah.
it's always like the shy phase.
Yeah. I feel like weirdly enough, yes. Like I I think when I was first trying to like get into them, I thought I wouldn't be able to because I would feel like I was really scared. But I feel like it generally does take who you meet to kind of make you feel comfortable enough to like open up.
True.
Because I feel like, especially like with my current boyfriend, like I feel like I remember when I first met him, I didn't want to because I was such in a I just want to my own feelings kind of thing and like
You want to
them.
protect yourself.
Yeah. But I think once I met him, I generally was such in a comfortable state that like I felt like I started oversharing.
Mm-hmm.
That I felt that like I was doing too much at some point where I was like, fuck, I'm gonna just scare this fool away.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Have you seen those memes that are like talking stages? Can we just get to a part where I trauma dump on you?
I think that was the other thing. I felt like I was just starting to like trauma dump. But I feel like in a way, I was also letting him know that like I have these things going on and like I just want you to know, you know.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that bad? Like, are you not supposed to trauma dump?
I was gonna say.
Well, because the only reason I ask is because when I see it like online, it's presented as like that's a no-no. Like you're not supposed to do that. And I don't even mean just like you're scaring the hoes away type bad. I mean like, is it genuinely like morally wrong? Like
I don't think it is. I feel like because I feel like you talking about I guess your traumas. And I think you should also communicate if it's okay, you know, because I feel like you never know how well the other person can handle whatever it is that you went through. I think it's a lot of just communication of like, hey, like this is something that's going on. And I really want to talk to you about it. Something from my past, like this happened, you know, because I feel like it also shows the character in them of like, are they willing to, I guess, because you're for sure if you have a big like traumatic thing and you're still going through it, it's also like now they're going to be part of your life. Do they also want to go through that healing journey with you, you know? And I think it's good to communicate that you have these things, you know, like you have these, I don't want to say like issues, but you have like these things that you kind of have.
like dealing with.
Yeah, that you're dealing with. Yeah. And I feel like it's good to talk about those. I feel like maybe you shouldn't do it on the first date.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, totally,
like
yeah.
for sure. But I feel like there is moments where you do feel like this is the time where I can finally feel comfortable enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like once that happens, I feel like it's not really like dumping it on them. It's just more like you are opening up, you know, like it's you just telling them what you're going through, what you've been through, you know, and I don't think it's bad.
Well, because I also think that like there are scenarios where I can picture trauma dumping being necessarily bad. Like I think regardless of what you're doing, exposing like your past or whatever you want to call it, baggage, I think that like makes that creates this like idea of like closeness. So if you're afraid of losing this person and like let's say it's like your second date, you're gonna dump a bunch of trauma because you don't want them to like leave because it's like, whoa, we're already close, you know so much about me. I think then that's when it's kind of problematic.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think overall I get what you're saying, your perspective, because I feel like if they're gonna be in a committed relationship with you, they gotta understand that you carry these like things inside you that you need to heal, and if you respect them as a human, they also need to gauge if like if they're ready for that, because you could be with somebody and then they'll be like. You'll be like, yeah, like I had this super, I don't know. I'm not going to get an example because honestly, people be through some shit.
Yeah.
But like they went through some crazy shit and it's not fair to them if they don't want to go through it, that they have to stay. If they hear that and they're like, that's a little too much for me. I think you and me aren't really like made for each other. I think we should go our own way. I think that's why it is important also to have those conversations early on, because then you don't want to be like super deep and it's like they expose something really traumatic and then you're like, I don't think I'm mature enough or ready enough to like handle that in a relationship.
Yeah. And I think it's also just understanding that some people aren't ready for those types of conversations, you know? And I think that's also okay, like being the other person of like, if you tell them, I think it's just knowing that it's just always being prepared that if they do or they don't, it's not you, it's more of them. Like that's their character, that's what they see. And I don't think any of that is on you of like if you did open up and they don't like it, I don't think that's on you. Like you did your best to open up, you did your part, and I feel like that's one of the biggest things, because I remember when like I guess I talked about my stuff, I remember after I just felt very like I was kind of like not well in a way like I was losing him. Like I was kind of like oh fuck, like I said these things and I feel like now I scared him away. But I think that's where it comes from, where like I guess your partner can reassure you and be like, no, like it's okay, and like or just saying like, oh, thank you for sharing, you know, because I think for anyone it's always hard to like just share anything, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like always just communicating that.
I have a question for you then. So what would you say is a good time to let those feelings out or like explain those feelings?
I feel like
That's a good question.
for
bro.
me,
That's a
I
good
feel
question.
like I was the way like it happened for us was that for me, I generally went right into it. So once he asked me that he wanted us to date, I told him that I had trust issues from the get-go. I was just straight up. I don't know what it was. It was just like I just wanted to be straight up. I think it was more of the fact that like, again, I've talked about like my past and like how I've gone through like I guess my whole phases or whatever. And I remember I think when I started, I always knew my intentions, which were like I don't want to be in a relationship. And when I got in, I guess when I started liking my boyfriend, I was like, okay, like I really like this guy and like I really want to try to do something serious with him. So it was more like we were just getting to know each other. And I think for me, I was like, okay, my intentions here is that I really do like him and I want something here. So I was like, if anything goes further than that, then I'm going to be straight up about what I'm going through and what I've been through. So I didn't say like, oh, it's because of this. I just said, oh, like I just have trust issues, you know, just past relationships. I just want you to know that like I'm a little scared to start dating. And that's what I said. I just said that. I was just like, I'm just scared. I just want you to know. And he was like, okay. And so, I mean, I did kind of scare him where he thought I was saying no to us dating.
Yeah.
But I was straight up of like, I'm not saying no. And I said that. I'm like, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, and I'm communicating to you that like, I'm a little scared to start initiating this. Because I also haven't dated in a cool while. Yeah. So I think I kind of was telling him my intentions of what this was. And I think it's always good once you start in the beginning communicating what your intentions are. Yeah. Like you can say either you guys are just dating. You can say like, oh, we'll still just be talking, or we can date or like still see other people. I feel like once you get to know someone, you should set your intentions first and like say what you guys want. And from there you can either be like, okay, what are the next steps? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get
So
what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh,
No, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, so basically, like, you kind of feel it out as it starts to like progress. Like probably if you're talking, you're just talking. Yeah. You're not supposed to be like, hey, by the way, when I was a kid, you know. But like if you're starting to date, you should probably talk about shit that's like pertaining to dating.
And I think if you feel like you're in the unknown, like if you guys are talking and you guys are hanging out and going out or whatever, and you're kind of like, I don't know what this is, ask. Like ask, you know, like, and again, like, it's like, if you ask and they act a little immature about it, think about how you feel. Like, do you feel okay with the way that they answered? Do you feel like this is something you still want to continue? Like, I feel like you can read a lot. I don't know. I feel like I read a lot of people and their vibe. And I feel like if they're feeling some type of way when I ask them like, oh, so what are we? Or what is this? And he's just like, I don't know. Like, we're just feeling it out. Just think about how that makes you feel. Like, did you like that answer? Did you not like that answer? Ask follow-up questions. I know that a lot of people are always like a little intimidated or shy to ask those questions, but it's just like, I think that prevents you from a lot of you getting hurt, or like how people say like they wasted their time.
I think it's tricky. Yeah. Well, it depends. I'm thinking about how everything that you're saying, I feel like it's tricky because sometimes people don't want to reveal that extra layer because of how close it makes you. And a lot of people are afraid of commitment. Yeah. And especially at the age that you're at, I feel like the age that we're at, you kind of always have those ideas of like, oh, you know, maybe this person isn't like the perfect person for me. I'll find somebody else who's better or like on par. Yeah. And then maybe things will work out then. I think people sometimes are afraid to have those discussions because they always want to keep kind of like their doors open. Yeah. Like I saw this clip of Adventure Time. I sent it to you where Finn talks about it. Finn from Adventure Time. He's like, I keep women at a constant state of confusion, so I always have my options open. It reminds me of that. I think people sometimes like they have trouble with like actually addressing specific things from their past because they know it's like, well, now I feel this like attachment to them. Now if I do them dirty, I'll feel even more like a piece of shit, or like, oh, the hurt will be so much stronger. I think it seems easier when you know what you want.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't know really what they want, which is fine too. Yeah. But like, I think you got to figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
And I also, going back to your original question of like, is it bad to like trauma dump on people? I also think inherently a lot of people just trauma dump because they've been waiting to kind of like release these feelings and thoughts that they've had.
I get what you mean. I feel like a lot of people who trauma dump, it's almost unconscious. Like it's almost like when you hear them start talking, it's kind of like a floodgate opens and they're almost kind of like almost not in control. Because like how you're saying, they've been wanting to talk for a long time. So when they're like, oh shit, someone's listening, it's like blah, 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 you know? Which is
and there is those type of people who do that. I mean, there's even like friends who do that when you meet people and they already like start like
which is why in those cases when I see that like oh it's bad, I'm like but like I don't know. I feel like within those cases I'm like I feel like they mean well though. They're not trying to like do anything.
Yeah,
you know?
that's why I also don't see it as bad because I feel like again like it. Not just talking about relationship, but like friendships. When you like meet new people and you just like, some people just instantly see your vibe and we're like, I'm really comfortable with this person and they're so easy to talk to. Like they just instantly like open up. Yeah. And I think a lot of people can also read on that, you know. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think trauma dumping is bad. Like I think it's like overall fine, you know. And yeah, like I guess some people also don't do it consciously, you know, and like that's okay, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. See, bro, go ahead, trauma dump right now, live on the podcast.
Fuck, I've been waiting for you to say that. Just kidding.
What's in your mind?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Me?
Yeah, what's on your mind? What do you think about when it comes to relationships, bro? Do you struggle as how old are you? If you don't mind saying on the pod.
I'm 23.
23. As a 23-year-old.
I'm just kidding. I'm 22. It's a joke. I'm 22.
As a young man in their 20s, do you struggle a lot with dating?
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
What? A handsome young cat like you?
I know, bro.
Come
Handsome,
on.
charismatic, funny. What is epic? As you described yourself.
Cuddly.
Epic.
Cuddly.
Yeah.
Why do you think you struggle?
I would say more like personal reasons. Like
I think
personal reasons. I'm like pretty much I always link family stuff to
I get you.
how you are with relationships nowadays.
Yeah.
I get you.
Interesting. We were talking about that last episode.
Yeah. We are. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit about it later on. But Julie, do you have anything to say or can I move into it?
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was going to talk about is, do you think, because we all have Latino dads, I want to talk about having like a Latino dad.
Sure.
Wrong person, bro. You got the wrong person.
No, I think because your perspective is this perspective I think a lot of people share. And I think my perspective with my father, the relationship that I have with my father, is more unique than I like to admit. I feel like my father wasn't very much like a man of many words, or he wasn't an emotionally expressive guy. But what like I learned through his like physical activities taught me a lot. Like he kept a roof under my head. He always had the bills paid. He always had food on the table. He taught me what it was to be a man physically instead of verbally, you know? And because of that, like I'll never really have any like bad like connotations towards him. But I know I don't share in that experience. Like I know that's something that a lot of like people who have Latino dads don't really share. Because I can never really like have any gripe with my dad, because I feel like my dad isn't like emotionally there for me, but I can't blame him, like, because he was just like all built on survival, and like I feel like he tries to do it like, and
so you recognize that's his way of doing it.
Yeah,
like he's there in the ways that he can be. You know, that's how he makes up for it in a way.
Yeah, and I feel like he sets me up to when then if I choose to have kids, I break that like generational curse of like fathers being very stoic, very cold to their sons, because my dad, he would never lashed out at me. He never raised a hand at me. He's always been very calm and cool and showed me like, he never once told me like, oh, you should be grateful for what you have. You should like, you should like basically like kiss the feet that I walk on. He never did it. He did it without ever asking for a thank you. And I feel like that's like a lesson that like I take so dearly. But I also recognize that, I don't know. Not everybody shares in that experience.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, Patrick? Because I see it on your face.
No, it's just we're not similar. I mean, we have similarities, we have differences. Yeah. If I would describe my relationship with my dad, it would be those kind of scenarios where you're like trying to hold the flashlight for him, and he's like, "You're not holding it right." Yeah. It'll be like that. I don't hate my dad, but as like I get older, I kind of understand where he's coming from. Mm-hmm. I see his vulnerabilities, I see his struggles, but I can't really blame him for that. Although it's affected me in not long term, but like through my childhood going up to adulthood, it's affected me. But as time goes on, I kind of learn and like try to talk it out with my dad. Mm-hmm. Recently, remember when I told you like what song reminds you of like your dad? Yeah. And like I feel like I always saw my dad as like a cowboy, like a lone wolf cowboy. He's been through stuff, but at the end of the day, he's still wandering, like going on. I live with my dad, so he's not on his own. I just see him as like an independent person. He's not really a man of much words, man of action, but he's had like his own fair share of troubles that he struggles with, and I understand where it's not projected onto me, but it's been told or shown to me, and like it's kind of hard to like see the man that raised you differently from like, I understand now we're older, I seen what he's done.
Yeah, I definitely think dads, as they get older, they become more emotionally available, which is the complete opposite to when you're younger. Well, it's weird because obviously this show and this podcast, we talk about topics like that where we try to deconstruct like this like stereotype of like the Latino households. That's definitely one of the dad who wasn't really like, he was there, but he wasn't emotionally there. Yeah. You know, we talk about that a lot. Or actually, we don't talk about it a lot. This is actually the first time. That's why I brought you on, because I think it's important, bro. I think it's important to talk about this as men, as like, and even as my sister, like, it's important to talk about our fathers, because we talk a lot about our mothers for sure. Yeah. And that's a sentiment that I think a lot of people share, that like when they're younger, their dad isn't really like expressive, but for some reason something like switches. I even see memes on it where it's like when my dad wants to now like hug me and shit, when I was younger, he wouldn't do anything like it. I think there's a couple side effects probably from it. It's probably retirement. I think like they probably have less work, so now they're like sitting around. I think age is very important. They're reflecting a lot, especially as they get up there. They're like, holy shit, like maybe there were some things I should have done differently. And then third, I think as much as this like idea of what it is to be a man is that like you keep things in, you stay strong, and you're like this fucking statue. I think I used to believe in it so strongly that was real. That was a reality, that people were just really that strong. But then I think it just builds up and it'll eventually burst. And I think even if you hold it in for 20, 30, 40 years, eventually it's going to burst. And eventually that's why you see all those older, either your tios or your fucking Mexican dads get drunk as shit and like start crying. Because it's just fucking decades of holding in shit, of wanting to be strong. And I don't know, it's hard for me to ever really be upset. I know there's some kind of like healthy quality of needing that emotional support from your father, but I can honestly say, like, my entire life I never really felt like I needed that. And even now, and I know that's probably just like a byproduct of like never having it to begin with, so I don't know what I'm missing out on. But I guess I bring that topic up because I know it is important. I just wonder what you guys think about that, because for me personally, I can't ever blame my dad for not giving me that. Like, I just can't, like, I can't ever feel sad about it, because my dad didn't even have a dad. Yeah. I was raised by a father who didn't have a father, you know? And so, like, how could I ever be like, you're not a good father? Bro, he literally went off nothing. He fucking, like, shot from the hip, bro. Like, he was improvising all these things. And even then, he was always, like, there for me financially, to teach me virtues, to teach me morals. Like, he never sat me down and was like, you know, son, you got to live life like this. He never gave me that. But with the way he lived his life and the success that he brought on to, like, our family, I feel like that inspired me.
He led by example.
Yeah, he led by example. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Well, because I don't know. I feel like I don't know if our relationships were different because I feel like you're the son, I'm the daughter. But I feel like growing up, I always looked up to my dad. Because I remember every single time, especially like for school projects, they would always be like, "Oh, who do you like look up to?" And I always said it was my dad. I was always like, because I feel like he worked a lot and did a lot for us growing up, and I feel like I think I'm in the same boat where I never felt like I was missing anything. Like I never felt like, oh, I wish like my dad was this way. I wish he was this other way. It always felt like fine. And I don't know if you felt that way, but I always felt fine with the relationship. I mean, now I feel like as I grow up a little more, I do want to have a little more of like a connection with him. I don't know if that's because just we're both growing up, but I feel like it never felt like I was missing anything because it always felt like, yeah, he was always providing for us and I feel like he always gave us affection because we were his kids. At least through my perspective, it never felt that way. And again, I feel like just growing up, I always just saw him as like someone who really inspired me because he came here with nothing. And I feel like I saw the same way with my mom. So then I would always include them together. And I would always be like, they're both my inspirations because they've done so much for us, and I felt like it never felt like anything was missing. I mean, I feel like I had more conflicts with mom than with dad, but that's because mom was always home and dad wasn't. And I think that's why I always had more conflicts with my mom because I would see her more. So I would deal with a lot more of emotions with her because she was always like there. I had someone to, I guess, kind of like fight with those emotions, and my dad was always at work. So it was kind of like I never fought with him because he wasn't home. Yeah. But I felt like I mean, it did affect me sometimes because they were both sometimes working all the time. But other than that, I feel like I knew what they were doing. I knew that they were providing for us because that's all that they could do. Yeah. You know? And I feel like, sorry, and I feel like growing up, it never felt like it wasn't love. It always felt like they were doing it for love and for us.
I think people show love in different ways. I think it doesn't always have to be so upfront. And I don't think the words have to always be like, I love you. I think people sometimes, if they have demons, like I know some immigrant parents do, it's a lot harder to verbally say it. Yeah. So instead they show you through their actions. And I know that's tricky. Because I know there is value in hearing the words, but I do think that a lot more people are sometimes loved less than they know. Yeah. You know?
I think that, I think the point I'm extrapolating is the fact that, if you felt loved, it doesn't really matter that it doesn't align with the traditional love because you felt loved, and that's the most important part. Yeah. I understand that that's for some people that's not enough, and I think that's valid too. Like if you're hurt and you didn't feel love because that didn't fill your need, that's okay. But if it did and it sounds like it did for you, I think that's also okay, you know? So I think that's just an overall positive, you know? Like just because it doesn't align necessarily with what what other people's, ideas look like, and maybe it might align to maybe it seems like on the surface level it would align to a more negative outcome. It didn't, and the point is that his love resonated for you, and I think that's the important part to extrapolate.
Yeah, I think so too. How about you, Patrick? Do you love your dad?
I'm starting to love him.
You're starting to
growing
love him?
up, it was negative for me.
Yeah,
it was hard until recently. I watched a bunch of movies about them. I have two good examples. Okay, Fences and Honey Boy. I resonated with those two a lot. And there's this one quote from Honey Boy that I kind of live by a lot. And I learned to not blame my dad. And he pretty much says, he's talking to his son, the child above. He's like, you know where we come from, son? We come from a line of alcoholics. And that line is where a lot of people, good people, were fucked up and then got messed up and everything. And so they resulted to drinking. And TMI, I guess, trauma dumping.
No, it's okay.
Growing up with an alcoholic father is not easy. It's never been easy, but growing up, I didn't really have like those playing baseball with your dad or anything. I always wanted that. Every time I see that in a TV show or a film or anything, I'm like, man. But as I got older, I kind of tend to understand that it's not his fault. Like he's providing everything, he's surviving for us and everything. Like, and that also resonates with the Fences movie where he's like, I don't have to like like you, like, cause going with my dad, it was a lot of, I would have to go to work with him a lot, and I hated it because it was like manual labor. And like, imagine middle school, elementary school, going to work with your dad. It's tiring for a little kid. Especially like times where they'll get mad and they're like, oh, you're not doing this right. I was like, if I'm not doing this right, why don't you teach me? It's like growing up, you reflect on that. And so time goes by, you get older, you tend to open up more to your dad, and you see your dad try to do the same. And it's like, I'm not saying it's broken enough where it's like can be fixed, but we're trying. And it's hard to pick up my thoughts on this situation. It's a sensitive topic, but I'm not afraid to open up about it. It's just
as you get older, you just more like, and as you become an adult and you're more understanding of the world, you can kind of like put yourself in his shoes a little. Yeah. It doesn't like make it easier, but it kind of gives you a more frame of reference. Because like when you're a kid, you're like, that's my dad. Like they should just be able to like do everything. I get what you mean.
Like growing up, I didn't have like a lot of role models. I always looked to like comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say my dad's like my role model growing up. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all good. Yeah, kind of just jumping off Brian's point. So it like humanized your dad though as you got older, right?
Yeah, okay.
You saw him more as a human, right?
I saw him more as a human, and like funny enough, recently there's like the new filter on TikTok where you can see how you look older.
Yeah.
I tried it and I looked like my dad, and low key like made me want to cry. And I was like, it's just we're all the same. We all come from somewhere. We all come from places where like generations of trauma have affected their grandparents, and then it's laid down to my parents and then laid down to me. But before I left to college, I left college to San Francisco because I didn't want to be home. And it was a pretty big move. And my mom talked to me about it, and she's like, I know why you're like going to college. It's because you want to like get away from this house and stuff. And like, no, I wanted to go and like find myself, but little part of me didn't want to admit it. And she's like, listen, don't blame your dad for like any of this. He's like, he's trying his stuff. He's like getting older and he's like reflecting upon it. And fuck, my memory sucks right now.
No, it's okay.
She told me this one thing. She's like, he loves you. It's just very difficult to tell you, especially now that you're an older man. Like I can see him struggling to open up to you, and we see the effects of how it was being raised on you, and like how you can barely take love and all that. And like, yeah, sometimes I see it in like where I want to go in relationships. Like it's kind of hard to like love, but also in like my everyday life, being a sore loser, like that comes with daddy issues.
Yeah.
Like you can't take loss as well.
Yeah.
If like you don't have a good role, like father figure.
Interesting.
Why do you think that is?
I think they don't teach you like what loss is. Like, hey, you get up next time. Like there's always a next time, buddy, or something like that. Like I've always wanted to hear that.
Yeah.
But coming from especially a Latino household, it's like, ¿por qué no puedes entender? Or like, ¿por qué no sabes?
Well,
like,
I can imagine, right? The way you're talking about it, where it's like holding the flashlight. It feels like you can't do anything,
like
right? So when you lose, it's like affirming that negative thought.
Yeah. So like just having that put onto you as a younger age, and then growing up, you see the results of it. And like, I do need to go to therapy, but I just don't know when. And like, there are times in relationships where I've talked to people and like I'm scared to open up. Recently I asked questions like, I was scared to ask this one question. It's like, do you think I'm holding you back or anything? Like my heart was beating and like, is this the right thing? Like, am I saying this right? But as soon as I said that, it kind of felt like one of the chains broke off. Like it was a relief to like actually express that vulnerability.
Yeah.
But I love my dad. Growing up, it was tough, but I'm trying to be with him more.
Yeah. What reminds me of just a final thing that I wanted to say was that how you were talking about generational trauma, and then I wanted to bring up generational curses. I know you guys have heard generational trauma, but generational curses is so generational trauma is like what you kind of have, but the generational curse is like, so your great grandparents were bad parents, so they pass that down to your grandparents, and then they pass that down to your parents, and then they pass that down to you. And breaking a generational curse is you breaking that tradition of you, like maybe your grandpa was cold to your dad, and then your dad's cold to you, but now you becoming aware and trying to fix those things in you that you feel like are broken. It breaks that generational curse. Because now you don't have to pass that down. Or even you, Julie, like you as a daughter, you know our mom went through a lot. And then she probably passed down some things to you because you were the daughter. And she struggled as a daughter. And now if you have a daughter or if you have a son, it's your I don't want to say responsibility, but at least it's in your power to then look to your kids and be like, no, I could do it differently. I can show you this warmth and this love and this empathy that maybe my parents and their parents didn't show them, but it stops with you, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's what it reminded me when you said Honey Boy, when you were like, oh, I come from this long line of alcoholics. You have that power to stop it at you, so then you don't pass down that generational trauma to your kids. And I guess that's something I just wanted to bring up to the show, because I know a lot of people who watch us are either first gen or Latino kids or come from a long line of things that they struggle with. I just want people to know, like, it's in your power to kind of fix that. Yeah. You could do it.
You could do it.
Yeah. I almost feel like my parents kind of were the first ones to lay the groundwork for at least me. Because mom tells us all the time. She tells us, like, no, like, you wouldn't believe how my mom was to me. And she told us, I wanted to make sure that when I had kids, I didn't treat them like how my mom treated me.
Yeah. I feel like my mom was very much well aware of what she went through. And I feel like she did her best in what she could. I mean, she still for sure passed things like onto me because, like, again, like she had a mom, but she wasn't really there. And I think my mom was well aware that, I mean, she went through a lot of shit. And she's told us. And I feel like her stories also traumatized me, like, because she would tell them all the time. And I feel like I think that's where I kind of got my traumas of, like, just seeing how hurt she was. I mean, I would hear them when I was younger, but I feel like I still didn't understand them. I think I would just see my mom be sad about them, but I didn't fully understand what the issues were. Mm-hmm. I knew that they were hurtful. Yeah. I just didn't really understand them. But I know that she always talked about, and she was really well aware that she went through a lot, and like that, she was like, I don't want to do that to my kids. And I think that's why she did her best. And like, again, like I had a lot more issues with mom than with dad, but that's because she was always around. Mm-hmm. And like, I feel like for a good while, I was always angry at her, or sometimes even at both of them. But I feel like I eventually learned that, like, they went through a lot. Like,
could be worse.
Yeah, like they went through a lot. And like, I think also just hearing, like, I guess other people's stories and too. And I'm just like, I feel like my parents did the best that they could, and they still are. I mean, mm-hmm. I still live with them, so yeah. I still am like going through things with them. And I think as an adult, it does become a little harder because like we're each individually like working, and like, I mean, they work in the day, I work in the night, so I hardly see them. So when they see me, it's just like they're all excited because they finally see me. And we live in the same household. Yeah. Like, we hardly see each other, and we live in the same house. Yeah. But I feel like that's why now it's a little bit more of appreciative of those moments, because it's like, you know, we're each individually like now growing up, and like we're each individually just having our own lives. And like, I feel like I always held my family up to like a big like standard. Like it's my big value, like being family oriented. And I feel like that's generally from my parents. And I think because they really raised us as best as they could. And again, I think me being well aware of that now, and I feel like that's me like now up until recently that I am more aware of it. And I'm like, okay, like, I get it, but I feel like now that we're all adults, it's a lot more of like, there's this area where now I want to be a little more like, I guess, confrontational about it, where I'm kind of like, I want to tell you how I feel. And I mean, I haven't really said that to my parents. I feel like that's just another step that I want to get to kind of heal our relationship. Because again, like, I feel like I'm a very resentful person, where I feel like I did hold some things against them. But again, I think one of the parts is that I understood that they went through a lot of things, and now it's kind of like talking about it, you know? And I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten to the part where I want to talk to them about it.
But it'll get there, bro.
But it'll get there, yeah. And I feel like there's like no pressure on that. Like, I generally feel so fine with them that I feel like we're okay. Like, we're fine. Like, we're good, you know?
Everything's, what's the word?
Awesome? No, just kidding.
Everything's cool, bro.
Yeah.
As long as they're around, it's never too late. I think sometimes we can also get caught up in that like, fuck, dude, like, I don't, like, I have all these issues either with my parents or these things that I need to confront with my parents. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I ever do it. You got plenty of time. You know, you got plenty of time. You could do it at your own pace.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know, unless for other reasons you don't have time, but you have time for the most part. Yeah. But one thing that my dad also passed down to me is Spanish. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Touching on that, I have a question.
Okay.
¿Cómo se dice sponsored?
¿Es sponsored? ¿Espanto?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Comercial.
Comercial? Commercial?
Okay,
Commercial?
okay.
That's a good one. I like it.
Well, in case you didn't catch on, the Todo Chido podcast is now sponsored by Yo Sabo the Game.
Hey,
Check 'em out.
we so much love. So much love. That's right, Brandon. So Yo Sabo the Game is the new Latino card game for your next game night. You can test out your Spanish, answer trivia, and even win some fun challenges. But better yet, Yo Sabo the Game is a small business that is run by 3 Mexican Americans. Just like Everything's Cool is run by 3 Mexican Americans. And they're just 3 Mexican Americans who just wanted to practice their Spanish, but ended up creating a new fun way to do so. So make sure to check this game out.
So y'all saw us play a few episodes ago, so make sure y'all check them out. All the links will be in the bio. You guys can purchase your own game, just like right here. So you guys can purchase your own game at yosabodegame.com. You can also find them in all social media platforms at the username yosabo_the game. Make sure y'all check them out. Show so much love to them.
The links will be in our bio.
Yeah, so much love to them. They're really cool. We know all about them.
Thank you guys for sponsoring us. Woo.
Yeah, I even beat Patrick. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. I beat Patrick. I became the superior Mexican.
No. He's letting his
superior
pride.
Mexican.
I became the
Pride.
superior Mexican.
Come on, man. We were just uncovering all the...
I know. Hey, bro. There's room to laugh. There's room to be.
¿Cómo se
I'm
dice?
competitive. What can I
¿Cómo
say?
se dice trauma? No,
¿Cómo se dice?
¿Cómo se dice trauma them?
¿Cómo se dice daddy issues? No, just kidding.
Papa.
Every day I wake up.
Papa. I don't know. You say it.
How do you say issues or problem?
Issues,
Yeah.
problema.
Well,
and then
problemas.
What about issues?
is
I think you say like problemas.
It's trauma, like trauma.
trauma. It's trauma,
Trauma?
no?
Is it really?
I think so.
I don't know.
Maybe
Drama.
maybe on volume 2.
Maybe
Volume
Volume
2.
two.
Yeah.
Volume 2, daddy issues.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yo Sabo.
Yeah,
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Shout out to Yosabo the Game. Again, thank you guys for sponsoring us. Make sure you guys check them out.
It.
Alcohol not included. It's fun though.
Yeah, alcohol not included. But there is actually alcoholic
Drink
games in there.
responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly. And
Okay.
talk about your father when you drink.
No,
It'll be fun, bros.
Bruh.
Trust.
Or talk about politics like Stevie does.
When I drink, I start talking about politics for some reason. Yeah. Do you remember we were at Dodger Stadium and I was telling you I was thinking about systemic racism, and Patrick's like, bro, I'm just trying to eat my pizza.
Bro, were you guys there? No, you weren't there. It was for Stevie's birthday party. He was talking about like
Native Americans?
Native Americans.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I started getting
he was
heated.
really loud too.
It's because Izzy was making me mad, bro. I didn't agree with his take. I don't even remember
I
what it
forgot
was.
what he was saying.
Yeah,
too.
but I didn't agree with his take about Native
I just remember they were
Americans.
just yelling at each other. I was like, okay.
Well, because
Well, they're lit.
it's one thing. It's one thing to make me drunk. It's another thing to make me talk about social issues. It's another thing to make me talk about Native American issues. But it's another thing to make me drink and then
to do all three.
Yeah, to do all three
Damn.
and then have a take that I don't agree with. I will
He
literally.
triggered you?
Yeah, he triggered me. I was, on my birthday. You're gonna say
You let
this.
your pride get to you?
Daddy issues, bro. Daddy issues. Nah, I don't. I personally feel like I don't have father issues, but I can also admit that that's maybe just part of the daddy issues. You know, like sometimes you have problems that are so big that you don't want to admit that it's a problem. Maybe it's like that.
See, some people
But I love my pops. I be hugging him. I be giving him hugs.
He's like,
she's like, it's good for you, bro.
Good for you, bro.
Bro, it'll be okay.
I'll give you a hug. How about that?
It'll be okay, bro. I'll talk to your pops. Let me talk to
I
him.
don't know.
Let me talk to him, bro.
Let me talk to
him. Yeah. Let me talk to him.
too.
Yeah. I come back crying. Oh, I'm gonna send my dad.
Stevie will be the facilitator between you guys.
Is your dad a fighter? Not because of any reason.
No, he's not.
He's not a fighter.
No.
My dad's not really a fighter either. So that's good.
He likes likes avoiding problems.
Oh really? Is your dad active though? Did he play like soccer or anything when he was younger?
They say he did.
I'm just
his
it's 'cause-
lore.
His lore, his dad lore. I'm just gauging like whether or not my dad could beat your dad. That's why. You know how they always say that? No, I don't mean it. That's a common joke. You guys have never heard that?
Yeah, it is. I'm just
Yeah. You guys are always
yeah.
trying. You guys are instigating. Yeah, you said yeah. You guys are just instigating. Wow. You guys give me the quiet silence. That's crazy.
I would say my dad's pretty strong.
I don't know. I think my dad could kick your dad.
Oh yeah.
Alright,
I forgot.
Let's not
I forgot we have the
compare.
same dad.
Like, Julie, my dad could kick your dad.
Yeah, Julie, my dad could kick your dad's ass.
You're like giving me PTSD right now because I can't defend myself.
What do you mean? Your dad can't kick ass or
Oh,
what?
shit, I don't know.
So
Get mad.
okay, so if you and your dad and Stevie
Oh.
and my dad were getting into a fight, who would win?
Who would win, bro? My dad or your
I don't
dad?
know. Your dad just looks like a nice guy.
My dad is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty nice guy. I feel like if it was in his rage era,
But
maybe.
you guys are in a
Also,
tag
like,
team.
Peak
Oh,
dad
it's
versus.
a tag team match. It's
Oh.
you and your dad versus you and your dad.
I don't know how my dad was in his peak, so.
I feel like you know what. The owner, Brandon, do you think? I don't know. Brandon's dad is tall. Brandon's dad is really tall. Yeah, my dad is short. He's
Your
shorter
dad,
than me.
when I first saw your dad when you posted him, he looked like an OG.
Yeah, well, he is.
I was like,
He is. He used to be part of a
I
gang.
was like,
So
damn.
yeah. No, I think his dad could probably beat our
He
dad.
low-key give me this.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Chills.
was pacing the house with a bat today.
Bro, this fool sent me.
What? Why?
Because there's this, I don't know. I was ironing my shirt and I looked outside and my dad was like with a bat and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then he's like, there's just some punk outside, and I was like, really? And I look and there's some guy just sitting like in front of our house, and I was like, oh, like did he do something? He's like, nah, but I'm just making sure he's not gonna.
I'm
And
dead.
So I don't know.
Fucking Brandon, this fool sent me a picture of his dad back in the day, fucking posted up behind some
Yeah,
graffiti.
Hard.
Yeah, like in
bro.
black and white with a white shirt on, like doing the cholito pose, like on the bottom.
Can I see that?
I was like,
photo?
nah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I'll show you.
his dad could probably beat our dads. Your dad got stabbed too, no?
Like 9 times.
Oh.
Yeah, so my dad's never been stabbed. He fell
Stabbed.
down though off
Stabbed.
the
He
fell
border.
down.
Stabbed,
Yeah.
put in a coma, shot, hit with a crowbar.
Maybe 2v1. Maybe if both of our dads combined, or the three of our dads combined to.
The three of our
The three of
dads.
our dads.
I would say my dad's pretty strong because he works with trucks and like always picks
Oh,
up
yeah,
like, truck
he-
tires.
that's-
My
and
dad's
that.
pretty strong, honestly.
That's what we're doing.
Oh,
We're about,
can your dad lift 315 though?
we're about to start fighting, bro, over our dads. Even though we were just saying, like, yeah, my dad never.
That's where our
never-
prides come out, bro.
Our
Our
dad
prides.
I know, like, could say all this shit about how, like, oh yeah, me and my dad aren't close. But then once somebody threatens my
Nah, but
dad,
he'd kick your ass though.
yeah, but he kicked your dad's ass though.
Don't talk shit about my dad, bro.
It reminds me of like how sometimes I joke around with Julie. I'm always like making fun of her, and then but if somebody else did it, it was like, hey, only I can make fun of my sister.
Yeah.
It's like that. It reminds me of that. But
That's
moving
funny.
on, bro. Brandon, what did you bring for this week's?
Well, just to close this off, I want to say thank you for sharing, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks for sharing,
I
bro.
appreciate you being vulnerable. I think it's a testament to your strength to be able to handle it with such grace. So thank you for that.
Yeah, buy my book.
Dead.
It's like growing up with a Mexican dad.
It's probably like some poetic thing, like abuelito padre,
Oh,
hijo.
and you're posing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
You're
there's
posing.
at the end of the book. There's this beautiful like art painting of like a dad holding a baby, and
Oh.
and,
And
Oh,
it's like in a
like-
tree.
like in Fresh Prince.
Yeah, like in
The
Fresh
Fresh
Prince.
Prince one.
Yeah.
The Fresh Prince one.
he has like La Virgen like tattooed on one of his biceps.
Maybe.
To hell with it.
Yeah.
That
Damn.
episode's sad.
By my butt.
That scene is
Does
so
daddy
sad.
does daddy media always hit different for you? Like whenever
It
you see
does.
dads in media.
Fuck, I remember when that
Fuck.
when that one Kendrick Lamar song was it Father Time?
Yeah, father
Yeah.
time.
That one
bro.
hit. That one hit. I
Did you
love
cry
that
to
song.
it?
I low-key did.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, bro, that song's beautiful.
Well, it's because the album is like meant to be like internal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, that's
Well,
really
yeah,
Very
it's like a
therapeutic.
therapy session, right?
therapy session. Yeah.
Yeah. That song specifically reminds me of my older brother though. But that's a whole other story.
Oh,
Well,
that's for the brother episode.
I guess because I don't know, because how my sister said in the beginning stages of my life, my dad wasn't as much there, so I really enough my brother became my father figure because he's like almost like 10 years older than me, and he was like the Mexican, like I resonate then with what everything you say. My dad. Whoa, it's coming out right now. Oh, no.
No, I feel the same because
No.
like my sister, I would call her my second mom. So I would say I'm 50-50 growing up with like a Latino dad and then like with a woman.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
The only reason I don't think me and Julia like that is because we're so close in age. If she was older than me, probably I would see her like a second mom. But I see her as my sister, who's
I
always
don't-
trying to fight me, bro.
I don't think I give motherly vibes.
Maybe you
either.
guys aren't as okay with it as you say. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
not. I think a couple more sessions.
Okay with what?
A couple more beers
It's
and
a,
I'll
it's a
get
joke
into it.
today.
No, I don't know what you were referencing.
Well, because you guys are fighting, and I was like, maybe you guys aren't okay with all these issues as you say. I'm
What
I'm
goes
not-
on
I'm
beyond
not
the
though.
door?
Hey, what did I say in the beginning of the episode? Sometimes I fight in a way of showing affection.
I'm not though.
Real?
I got a lot
I'm-
of trauma.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You literally shat on her bed, bro. You literally shat on her.
It's how I
my-
show love. It's how I show love.
Growing up, my brothers bullied me a lot.
Bro, I was the youngest. You don't think I was bullied by both of
No,
you?
he was.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's it. I've had it. I've had it. It's
Okay.
about to be a Maury episode right now. I never forget. Joe, you know what is something? Can I say one thing that I do remember? You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna-
Wow, he's an exposure right now.
No.
All right.
Yeah, no. I'm not
Moving
gonna-
on. Moving
Go ahead,
on.
go ahead,
Moving
go ahead,
on.
go ahead.
There's a lot of things. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? I got a few things. There's the Lizzo thing that's been going on.
I guess we can start
But,
with that.
that-
but before that, I had a small thought. It'll probably be less than 30 seconds. I was watching this thing on TikTok, and this guy was like, I don't know what it was. It was like he was basically like he had no shoes on, and he blurred his feet, and it made me think like, are feet gonna become like sexual?
Aren't
like-
they
I think-
already?
yeah, aren't they already?
No, but like, do you think like in media, like, do you think like in shows they're gonna stop showing feet?
I don't know,
They're
the
gonna
Barbie
stop?
movie. The Barbie movie showed a lot of feet.
Yeah, do you think they're gonna
Quentin
stop?
Tarantino shows a lot of feet, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna stop? Because I feel like on TikTok and on the internet, they always are like, oh, not for free.
I don't think
And I
That's
feel-
not fair. You have a foot fetish. You can't
Whoa.
answer.
Ew.
No.
Ew.
I would say
kidding.
no because people still show like other shit. So no.
I guess I just wonder because it's like it's one of those things where it's like everybody jokes about it so much that I'm like, do you think it's gonna start
Like,
to?
projecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You know what's funny? When we saw the Barbie movie, I was kind of getting that vibe because I think it's a Gen Z thing. I think Gen Z mainly thinks feet are like weird or sexual. They either there's people in
There's
the Gen
no
Z.
in between.
Yeah.
There's no in
There's no one who's just neutral about feet. It's either you're disgusted by them or you're horny by them. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Hey, bro. I bet you have a
I
kink.
feel
Once you
that people would
know
be gross.
someone that has a foot fetish, you like it amazes you. Like no way.
What?
Because
I knew somebody. I knew somebody.
Who had a food fetish?
Yeah. It's common, bro. It's very
a
common.
guy
Like there?
or
Yeah.
gal or person that had a foot
Girl,
fetish?
guy.
It's always
Okay.
guys.
Yeah, it's
How do
always
you-
good.
I don't
It's
know, I
common.
always
It's
ask that
common, bro.
too.
It's very common.
I
So
just think.
then,
I just
yes.
think. I'm just like, what's sexual?
Isn't it?
Are you?
I think
Isn't
do
it
your
that it's
hand-
the
do your
same part of the
hands-
brain that the part
Do
that
hands
Yeah.
turn you on?
So there's a couple of theories. What he's saying is true. That the sections in your brain that like are the section where you get like erotic feelings, like where you get sexual feelings, is very close to like whatever part of your brain also thinks of like appendages. And so like that's why sometimes the neurons fire in the wrong direction and they fire into what you think about as feet.
So it's a
So some
disorder?
people see feet as almost genitalia.
So it's a disorder.
So our hand.
It's a
It's a fetish. It's a kink, man.
It's a
like,
glitch in the system.
It's a
It's a-
glitch.
it's a disorder.
What were you saying?
So
Julian?
so our hands like the same thing.
I mean, people like hand jobs.
I mean, I think
Some people like the veins.
Well,
and
because there's
half-
people
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
there's people who
hand
do, like-
models and shit.
There's
you
people
know?
who like veins. There's girls who like veins on guys.
I
on their
guess
hands
I
and
guess
shit.
if I thought more of it like because people are always covering their feet, and even people in a non-sexual way are kind of sometimes insecure about their feet, like don't look at my toes, like So I think it's one of those like
I'm a little insecure
I
with
wanna
my
s-
toes.
like people will probably get turned on by that, like I want to see because but like with hands, you're always like they're always out, so they're
Yeah.
kind of like like
Yeah.
they're
I
not-
guess.
you know what I mean?
No, I think you're spitting, bro.
Well,
I
because
think you're right.
because it's like the free the nipple thing where it's like
You got
if
something.
the argument right would be if that we stopped like holding them to this high standard, they'd get desexualized.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with like hands, everybody sees hands.
So they're
people are like
desexualized.
people are like boring. Like I want to see something I
I want to see
can't
some feet.
I want to see something I can't see.
You got
Okay.
some soft hands.
I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
Soft hands.
No, I honestly think he's right. I think it's also that part. I think because they're always covered up, people are like, ooh. Like,
So you guys,
it's more intimate, you know. It's more
so
intimate.
you guys are weirded out by feet.
I'm weird about feet because like you're always on your feet.
like-
You know,
I
like,
think
you're
they're.
working all day, walking all day.
I think that they're objectively very dirty, and because of that, I don't feel any like sexual feelings towards them.
So you're weirded out by them.
But I wouldn't say I'm weirded out by
Have
them.
you
So
seen-
there is a middle.
I
Yeah.
also saw a TikTok.
But I'm different. I'm different.
I also saw a TikTok that said people who are super grossed out by feet are closeted foot fetishes.
Patrick, I fucking knew it. Patrick.
No,
I fucking knew you like feet. That's why I always cover my feet. You know who's super grossed out? Our regular guest, our Joey Diaz, Izzy.
Israel.
Izzy hates feet. When we're at the beach, he buries his feet always.
I do that too. I bury
Oh,
my feet.
but you know what? He did have life-changing foot surgery when we were teenagers.
Oh.
So his feet are all fucked up. So he's insecure about his feet.
Oh, he's
Okay,
got.
that's different. That's
Yeah,
different.
yeah. He fucked. I still remember. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, bro. If you have a foot fetish, do you know also? Did you know kinks are hereditary?
So, if you have a foot fetish, your dad has a foot fetish.
Yeah,
Or mom.
yeah. For those of you out there watching, if any
Blame your
fetish,
parents.
any fetish or kink that you might have, know that your parents are into it too. Like if you like getting thrown around and
Mommy
shit,
issues, daddy issues,
it all
pet
connects, bro.
issues,
It all connects.
sibling issues,
It all connects.
house issues.
Interesting.
Like if you like getting dominated, like it
Daddy
probably
issues.
means your parents like getting
How do
dominated.
Okay.
kinks get inherited?
They're
It's
just
in the
genetic,
That's a
bro.
good
It's in the
question.
genes.
That's a really good question.
It's a it's in the genes, bro.
Well, like,
I don't know.
what
Interesting.
causes that action? Okay, how did we go from Lizzo?
We didn't go from Lizzo.
I
We never
didn't-
talked
I
about
didn't,
Lizzo.
I didn't think you guys would get so fascinated.
He didn't
I thought you
start it
guys
yet.
would be like, ugh. Like
Well, bro,
always.
because like
Steve was fascinated by it.
I think that stuff.
He projected
is kinda
onto
interesting.
me.
Come on, guys. We had a therapy session. No more
Well,
instigating.
you know what?
Instigating is over.
Instigating is over. No, fuck you, Patrick. You started it. I was gonna say something that would have gotten us canceled. Never mind.
I could probably extrapolate what he was going to say.
I literally had to stop myself. I
You're
was
like,
like, no.
I forgive you.
I could see Yo Sabo pulling their sponsorship away the second I almost said it. I almost something really out of pocket.
No.
But you wanted to talk about something else, right, brother?
I guess Lizzo, right? Have you guys seen that? I'm not super familiar with it, but I heard she
Yeah.
has a bunch of like accusations.
She's
from-
getting sued.
Oh, she's getting
There's
sued.
it's a whole. It's a
Damn.
whole.
Oh, because
a
it's
whole
ex like
lawsuit.
backup dancers, right? They said that she was like created a hostile work environment.
Yeah. So supposedly, so what's happening is Lizzo is being sued for sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment.
Sexual
harassment?
What'd she do?
What did she do?
So basically, this is just from like a post that I saw. So on Tuesday, 3 of Lizzo's formal. I can't even say it. I can't even say
Former?
it.
Former.
Former.
Can I read it? You want me to read it?
Bro
I
said,
can't even say it.
let me drive the boat. He said, let me drive the boat.
Former backup dancers accused the singer of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. The lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Supreme Court and three names event. So Lizzo is getting sued, Lizzo's production company, and then her dance captain. So in the lawsuit, the dancers allege that at a club in Amsterdam, she pressured them to take turns touching a nude performer's breast even after the dancer said no, invited dancers to catch dildos launched from the performers' vaginas and eat bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas, and then asked one of her security staff members to strip on stage.
I did not expect any of that, bro.
The dancers also alleged that Lizzo subjected them to an excruciating 12-hour audition rehearsal after accusing them of drinking before performances. Lizzo allegedly planned to fire and send them home if their performance wasn't good enough. Dancers didn't use the restroom out of the fear of losing their jobs. One dancer accused or argued to Lizzo that they weren't drinking on the job. In response, Lizzo allegedly mocked her and then fired her 5 days later.
Damn.
That's insane.
Another dancer recorded a rehearsal due to health concerns for an eye condition. In response, Lizzo allegedly called out her weight gain, berated her, and fired her. And then she was forced to stay in a room while security staff members searched her phone to make sure the footage was deleted. She's now suing Lizzo's production company for false imprisonment.
That's crazy.
The dancers also alleged that they experienced racist and fatphobic discrimination at the hands of the company tour members. When asking for downtime compensation at a rate of 50% of weekly pay, they were told they were disrespectful before being offered only 25% by the accountant. In the lawsuit, they state only the dance cast comprised of full-figured women of color were ever spoken to in this manner. And then additionally, Lizzo's former performers claimed that their dance captain, which is the other person who's getting sued, was sexually inappropriate. According to the plaintiffs, they would describe sexual fantasies, stimulate oral sex, and comment on sex lives of the other dancers.
Damn, bro.
I heard
heard.
not beating allegations.
Yeah,
They're not beating
I
those
get
allegations.
the
Damn,
Yeah,
bro.
So that's basically what's happening.
Damn, bro. I heard it was bad, but I didn't know it was
Yeah,
that bad.
yeah.
And
I did
then,
not know it was that bad.
Yeah, and then this is just from like the dancers like lawyer. Is that he just said the stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly, while privately she shamed her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal but absolutely demoralizing. And so if these claims are true, they go against the values of Lizzo because she preaches like body positivity, love, and acceptance.
I don't know. Were you guys big fans of Lizzo?
Honestly,
Honestly?
not particularly. But like, I didn't have anything against her either.
Yeah. I guess what blew my mind was that I also saw some girl who was doing a documentary on her, like actually doing like a documentary to celebrate her like image of like body positivity and like what else is it like self-acceptance. She talked about how she ended up canceling her documentary like a few years ago because she immediately saw that it was a facade, that she was like that Lizzo isn't actually what she seems to be, that she's basically paid to stay big and stay like to stay like her weight and to stay like in doing it, like expressing these values. So she's all like an industry plant. Like she's basically like her entire image is basically composed by the companies. Like it's not a thing of her like lying. It's more of like that's always what she was meant to be.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what the documentary person said. Obviously, that's word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, people can say whatever they want to say. But I saw that yesterday. That's why I personally wanted to talk about it because I think that's kind of like mind blowing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and because they're trying to manipulate like people into like, because I already see the misogynist winning, being like, you see, I told you guys, body acceptance. Y'all should have never come in here with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I was like, the only downside about, I guess, this whole issue is that I knew people were gonna start being like super like fat phobic and like super racist, and I was just like, bro, like,
Yeah, that's not cool.
I feel like what she did wasn't right, and allegedly, right, she did all these things, and I feel like if it was that way, like, I feel like what she did wasn't right. But I also feel like, again, like, all those things don't make, I guess, being fat phobic and like racist right. You know, like it's just like, why are you guys being fucked up? You know, and I think I was more mad at that part where I was like, I low key was even like kind of mad at her that she kind of did this, because I was like, it gives people even more of a reason to now be even meaner about like people who actually have these genuine issues, you know. And I think that's what I was kind of like hurt about, was just like, bruh, like, really? Like that's what's happening. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't like super into it. This is just like a post that I saw someone share. I didn't look more into it. I don't even read the comments on anything, like, because I never really like, I mean, I would hear her music like on TikTok, or like if people like saw it. And I saw her, I think she had a documentary on HBO or like Max or whatever it's called now. I forgot which one. And I saw it, and like I thought it was like cool that she like was very like an advocate for like body positivity and all that. But I guess to know now if that is true, that it's all like a lie, it's just like, damn, like it's like so hurtful, you know? Like it's so like, damn, like it's so just sad.
It almost makes things worse than if she didn't exist. Like all the good that she did almost feels like
out the window.
Yeah, not even just out the window. If anything, now like harmful, because now you can make that argument of like, you see like a person like that who loves himself doesn't exist. She was always just an image for people to sell to people to make profit. Like, well, because I'm telling you, the documentary thing is what really blew my mind, because more and more allegations are coming out against her, saying that they were abused and that she's actually one of the most fat phobic people that people know. And like, bro, that's so crazy, because it's like just trying to wrap my mind around it.
It's ironic.
It's not just ironic, bro. It's like almost like borderline, like it's giving like evil. It's giving evil. Like it's.
I think the evil part is where she was, what you said, made for it.
Yeah, she was made. She never actually existed. The Lizzo character was fiction.
There is no Lizzo.
There is the biggest plot twist of.
There is no Lizzo.
There is no Lizzo.
I feel like one of the things, because I low-key, like my coworkers were kind of talking about it yesterday. Yeah. And I remember even like talking about it yesterday, I was still like I'm still so hard trying to, I mean, I didn't know about the whole documentary thing, but I remember at the time I was still so hard trying to be like, I feel like I want to believe that this isn't real. Like, I feel like, but it's more that I don't want to believe it's real, because I'm like, again, like I hate that people are so fat phobic and being racist about it, you know? Yeah. And I feel like I didn't want it to be real, and I didn't want it because of that. Yeah. Like I don't want other people to be harmed because of what she did, you know? And I think that's why I was so hard. I was like, I don't feel like this is real until it finally falls through or something. Or like it happens, whatever the lawsuit or whatever it is. And cause I generally was just like, I feel like not only like, yeah, she's the face, but she's not the only one who's getting affected by it. You know, like now there's other people who are going to be judged because of her, because of the way she acted towards her people, you know? And like, I think that's why for me, it's just like, bruh, like, why would you do this? Like, why would you harm a whole community now? Like, and I think that's what makes me like so sad and so mad about it, that I'm just like, bro, how could you do this? Like, how could you? Like, if this is all real, I was like, fuck, like, you really fucked up for like other people. Yeah. You know?
Well, that's another argument that I've seen people say too, is that like, there is a lot of people who are in denial of it, but I mean, it seems the more allegations that come out, it seems like a little harder to be like, maybe it's not. Mm-hmm. But people do bring that up too, is that like, in other cases, when allegations like this come out for other celebrities, people are so quick to accept it, but people aren't quick to accept it about Lizzo. Yeah. But I think it's because of that. I think it's just such a sad, heartbreaking, like, exposure. Yeah. Like, I think specifically this, right, is like, I didn't really know about her. I didn't really, like see the, like, things about her. So I'm not personally heartbroken. Yeah. But I could see why a lot of people were like, fuck, like, she was an inspiration. Mm-hmm. And then to find out that she's basically, like, an extremely, like, I keep wanting to say evil, but I feel like evil's kind of harsh, just because I feel like I don't think like someone who's evil actually exists, but that's like a whole philosophical thing. But she's like a cruel person. I saw people were bringing up too that they should have known when apparently she did something with Chris Brown. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I think she just like
Yeah, she said she supported Chris Brown.
Yikes.
She like years ago she said like I love this guy and like he wouldn't do dirty.
Either that or they work together. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I saw in the comments just people said that she supported Chris Brown and that she posted a few years ago a selfie with her on her Instagram saying that I love this guy, like he could basically do no wrong. Like like
I think I remember that. Yeah.
And that's when people said that they were like that's the first red flag. Well, because I've been reading more and more of the allegations that are coming out, and what I find interesting is that like there seems to have been so many people who knew the truth but didn't come out until recently. And I guess it goes to show you that speaking up really does make an impact because so many people are afraid to. Even the girl who did the documentary, she was kind of alluding to, she didn't say this, but she was kind of alluding to the reason why she didn't say anything is because she felt like she was just a powerful black figure and she didn't want to take away from that black empowerment.
Yeah.
And she said that's why she didn't ever come out and say that's why she canceled her documentary. She just said they went on, they had creative differences. And then she brought on a white guy to direct it instead. And the girl who left was a black woman. And she was like, well, I didn't say anything, but at least for those of people who are politically aware, they should have seen something right there.
Yeah.
They should have seen that was, maybe something you should look into. That she replaced her with a white dude. So it's pretty fucking heavy, bro. It's pretty heavy. Don't believe anything you see. Always take everything with a grain of salt.
I feel like that's why even sometimes, because I always think of when certain people, I guess, get up to like the high area and then there's like shit that comes out about them. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know whether to believe or not, if it's real or not, because sometimes I'm like, I feel like certain people just want to be taken down because of how up there they are, which is why with this whole situation, like, I don't know, like,
you still don't believe
it? I mean, there's a lot of people, and I feel like I always want to say that I do believe people, and like I do. I think it's just like being in the denial right now, where it's just like, how could this actually happen? Like
the 5 stages of what's it called?
Of grief.
Yeah.
Is the first one denial?
I think that's
denial, anger, bargaining, something.
Oh, fourth is depression, and then fifth is acceptance.
Yeah. And I think I'm in that, but I mostly just feel for everyone who's being affected by this. Yeah. And I think about it just more as like the women perspective of like the world is already against us and this is an even other point to be even more against us. And I feel like that's why for me it's such a like a personal hurt, because I'm like, bro, like not only like, yeah, you're big and you're famous and you have all your shit, but there's other people who don't have that, and I genuinely feel like this has affected a lot of people. And I think that's why it just like makes me so mad that it's like you basically fucked it up for other people. At least that's how I see it, right? At least that's how I kind of like feel about it, where I'm just like, anger. Man.
She's going through it live on the show. Anger.
It just sucks, bro. It genuinely just like sucks that I'm just like, well, because I wasn't a huge fan of her. Like again, like I hardly ever like heard her songs. I mostly just like saw them on TikTok, but I saw what she was doing and I was like, okay, like do your thing, whatever. Like I don't do whatever you want. And then to kind of hear this, which is like, it just sucks when it's always like, like, what is it? The BIPOC, when it's like, they're the ones who are like fucked up, you know? And it just sucks. 'Cause it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's just something there that it just kind of affects a lot of things. And I'm like, man.
Well, no, I definitely think it makes people take a step back. Because I think with someone like Lizzo, it gives off this perception of her image that she was very bold and very strong and loud about her opinions. And when something like this comes out, I think it immediately makes people think that now everything she stood for is invalidated, whether she created those ideas or didn't.
Yeah.
Like even separately, right? Like even separately, even like Lizzo removed, the fact she advocated so strongly for body acceptance. Now a lot of people are gonna think like, you see, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Only the only person who would do that is somebody who's being paid to do that. You know, and and as sad as it is, I feel like it's like people now have ground to stand on because of that.
Yeah.
Because there's an example now.
It just taints a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, because even like again, her performers, like she was very much, at least from as far as I know, right, is that her performers were also the same thing of like her being like body positive and like they can do anything. It doesn't matter your size or like
and
who you are. And it's like to find out that she was doing the same thing.
She was telling them that they were too fat.
It was just like, bro, like.
The thing I'm little sorry.
No, go ahead.
The thing I'm a little stunned about this is that if it were true that she was made or planted for that, I wonder why. Like, why did they like?
Because there's an audience for it. Because there's a large amount of people who
Would
want
you
to hear
say
that message.
That's equivalent to like companies doing like Pride Month stuff, like switching to all that.
Yeah,
Is equivalent to that.
probably.
Yeah, I think with any business, they think of profits first before they think of like morals or ethics. And if there's an audience that's underrepresented, if you're a business, you don't give a fuck about that, you're still gonna make those moves because there's money there. Money moves the world. So I saw people saying like the more you look at celebrities, the more you see that all these people are like evil, which is, I don't know. What do you think of that argument?
I won't say all are evil.
I wouldn't say all are evil, but I also would say that I think what people interpret as quote unquote evil in terms of celebrities, I think is just the average person. I think the average person is inherently flawed, inherently problematic, and inherently has a lot of bad virtues and ideas. And I think just when you're pushed up to be and then pointed like with a spotlight and on this pedestal, I think your human nature just looks evil. I think we as humans just look at the imperfections of being human as evil, which is where I kind of had trouble with that, with people saying like, when you look at these celebrities, you just see that they're all evil. I don't agree. I think just everybody is imperfect. There's no such thing as a perfect person. There's amazing, great people. You could probably point out some celebrities who are like beloved, like Paul Rudd, or I was gonna say Tom Cruise, but I don't know if Tom Cruise is beloved. Tom Hanks. You know, you could point out these people, but if you shine the spotlight on them and like really sit down with them, I bet you would figure out that they have a lot of problematic ideas and they believe a lot of things that are problematic. But that's okay because people are inherently problematic. Even us, all of us, we probably have certain ideas that if you shine a spotlight and broadcast it to the world, a good amount of people would probably be like, you're fucking evil for believing that.
Yeah.
When in reality, you know, when you point a finger, what is it?
3 are pointing back at you.
Yeah.
Is it this one?
3.
Yeah. Yeah, most people, bro, are imperfection.
That's why you go like that.
That's how you go like that.
It just feels, you get this really, yeah. That's why you point like this.
Yeah.
But that's how you feel the relief when you point the evil and the imperfections in other people, because you're like, yeah, you're so bad. Let me not pay attention to what I think is bad about me now.
Projecting.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy. There's a lot of shit just going on. Did you guys see about Doja Cat too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How she hates her fans.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But we don't hate our fans.
Yeah, we don't hate our fans. In fact, for those of you watching and want to subscribe to our Patreon, this is about the time that we're going to move into the Patreon.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Yeah.
Shout out. Oh, wait. So we're wrapping up the show then,
Yeah.
I guess. But you got to say the thing, bro.
Everything's cool?
I guess.
No. I'm a reading. But, you know, despite the evil in the world and the imperfections in being human, I think that at the end of the day, everything's cool. I'm gonna chug a beer to that.
All right.
Can I
so,
say something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
go
10
ahead.
people to go onto the Patreon, get put in a raffle for a fuck a fan contest.
Oh my god! Wait, with who? With Patrick?
Patrick.
No, you said it. So you got it. Yeah,
I'm not even part
he's
of this.
handsome. Don't worry, you guys aren't
All right.
gonna lose out on anything.
Shout out to all our patrons, Yoel, Daniel Villanueva, Cat Friend, and Jada Chicano. If you wanna be on the wall, go ahead and join our Patreon. Our links are in our bio. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Patrick for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Pretty nice.